Welcome to this explainer. If you've ever felt like you're working harder than ever before, but your bank balance is basically stuck in neutral, well, you're definitely not alone. Today, we're going to expose the hidden mathematical and psychological traps that are quietly draining the modern worker's wealth. We're dismantling the systems designed to invisibly extract your money and your time, so let's jump right in. Picture this. We've all been there. It's 5:30 on a Friday evening. You've just finished a grueling 45-hour work week. You are physically present, sure, but your brain is completely fried. The mere idea of cooking feels like climbing Mount Everest. So what do? You open up a delivery app and order $45 worth of Thai food or pizza. You tell yourself, hey, I earned this. I worked hard. But mathematically speaking, that $45 isn't a reward. It is a hidden tax. It's a penalty you're paying just to soothe the absolute exhaustion caused by your modern work week. Chapter 1. The real cost of working, the work scam. So, what is your time actually worth? Let's dismantle the illusion of the gross salary and reveal what we like to call the work scam. Let's take a hypothetical worker. We'll call him James. James makes a respectable $65,000 a year, which translates to roughly $31 an hour on paper. Sounds decent, right? But looking at revenue without looking at expenses is a surefire way to go bankrupt. What is James's time really worth when we look at his life like a business? The product James is selling is his life energy, and the cost of selling himself to an employer is astronomical. I really want you to consider your own true hourly value as we break this down. When we actually do the forensic accounting and look at the true cost of goods sold, James is selling his labor at a massive loss. Before he even sees a dime of that money, taxes shave his $31 an hour down to $24. Then come the sneaky work-related costs. He spends about $4,000 a year commuting. He pays for business casual clothes, basically an appearance tax. He buys convenience lunches and coffees because, honestly, he doesn't have the time or energy to meal prep. And finally, the decompression spending, that $45 Friday takeout we talked about, or that impulsive vacation just to numb the stress of the job. Suddenly, his net real income drops to roughly $35,000. But wait, it actually gets worse, because we also have to calculate his actual committed hours. James doesn't just work 40 hours. He spends time getting ready, commuting, and just staring at the wall decompressing when he gets home. This is all shadow work. When we divide his newly whittled down net income by these true inflated hours, his real wage drops to a shocking $4 to $8 an hour. He is trapped in a high-churn, low-margin business model where he is the product. Chapter 2. The two-income trap. One versus two incomes. Now, you might be thinking, okay, if one income is struggling, surely two incomes fix the problem, right? Well, not exactly. Look at this historical bait and switch. Back in the 1970s, a median single-income family could afford a home, healthcare, and savings. They had financial margin, but more importantly, the stay-at-home parent acted as a built-in emergency backup plan if the primary earner lost their job. Fast forward to today, and dual-income households are just the default. But housing, education, and healthcare costs have totally exploded to consume that extra money. Modern families have basically activated their emergency backup plan as a default setting, leaving absolutely zero financial margin for error. Let's track exactly where a $50,000 second income vanishes step by step. Say one partner makes $70K and the second makes $50K. That $50,000 gets hit with higher progressive taxes right out the gate. Then, step 2, average childcare costs hit about $15,000. Step 3, a second commute, meaning cars, gas, insurance, costs another $8,000. Step 4, dual exhaustion leads to convenience spending, taking out another $7,000 just to keep the household functioning. So, what does this all mean? After subtracting the taxes, the childcare, the extra commute, and the convenience costs, an entire year of full-time labor might only net a family a measly $2,000 of usable wealth. Think about that. Someone is grinding through traffic, away from their kids for 10 hours a day, and the household is netting maybe $8 per workday.
Chapter 3. The hedonic treadmill. Never feeling rich.
Let's move into the psychological trap that creates the Henry demographic. That stands for high earners, not rich yet. We can track the emotional journey of a raise pretty predictably. In month 1, you get bumped up to $80,000. You are absolutely thrilled. But by month 3, you've moved to a slightly nicer apartment and maybe upgraded your car because, well, you feel you deserve it. By month 8, your essential and quasi-essential expenses have ballooned. You actually have less discretionary income than before your raise, and you're right back to feeling stressed and living paycheck to paycheck. This is a biological glitch known as the hedonic treadmill. Our brains are literally not designed to stay impressed. We recalibrate in about 3 to 6 months. And this is exactly what keeps high earners stuck running faster just to stay in the exact same emotional and financial place. You double your income, you double your stress, but you only get a tiny fraction of the emotional return.
Chapter 4, The Math of Being Broke, the Poverty Premium.
Now, if you think being broke is just about lacking money, you're missing the invisible tax applied to the poor. This brings us to the boots theory. It's a brilliant concept that perfectly explains why lacking money functions as a relentless mathematical penalty. It really proves that wealth isn't just a result of strict discipline, and poverty isn't just a result of bad habits.
The math here is fascinating. The system literally charges you double over time simply for having less upfront capital. The rich man buys a $50 pair of high-quality boots that last 10 years. Total cost? $50, and his feet stay dry. The poor man only has $10 to spare, so he buys cheap boots that fall apart every single year. Over 10 years, he spends $100, double what the rich man spent, and his feet are still wet? This is the invisible poverty premium at work in the real world. It's the person forced to buy a 4-pack of toilet paper at $1.50 a roll because they literally can't afford the $50 bulk pack that breaks down to 50 cents a roll. Or consider the banking system. Dropping just $5 below your balance triggers a $35 overdraft fee. You effectively borrowed $5 for a day and it costs you $35. That is a staggering 700% interest rate, ruthlessly siphoning away whatever little money remains.
Chapter 5. Breaking the rigged equation. Winning the game. So the big question is, how do we actually step off the treadmill, escape this poverty tax, and win the game? If the system is fundamentally designed to invisibly extract our wealth through hidden work costs, lifestyle creep, and poverty premiums, how do we actively fight back? Well, here is how you build a solid defense. First, you have to ruthlessly optimize your real hourly wage. Cut those vampire costs of commuting and convenience. Second, treat your labor like a business margin. Remember, it's not about how much revenue you bring in, it's about what you actually keep. Third, for households, try to establish a one-income foundation where your fixed costs can be covered by a single earner, keeping that second income as your emergency margin. And fourth, build a cash buffer, that first $1,000 emergency fund, to permanently dodge the poverty premium and those economies of scale penalties. It's absolutely crucial to remember that every purchase you make has 2 costs: the money you spend and the time you sacrifice to earn it. When you buy a $100 pair of shoes on a $10 real hourly wage, you aren't just spending $100. You are literally trading 10 hours of your finite, precious life energy. You are selling your freedom. We're going to wrap up this explainer by leaving you with a rather provocative question. Every dollar you invest instead of spend on lifestyle creep buys back your future time. So, are you building true wealth and autonomy, or are you just running faster on a treadmill designed by someone else? Take a hard look at the invisible equations running your life and start taking your time back.